Tell me about the shirt you're wearing.
Pretty much speaks for itself.
Is that something you would really like to see happen?
Absolutely.
Even with that crucifix dangling over it, what would Jesus think of that?
Absolutely. He's not just a traitor now, he's been a traitor for decades. Everybody knows it.
But again, you have Jesus hanging for Biden. Would Jesus be cool with it?
What's the penalty for treason? Death.
Michael Shore is asking her a lot of questions already answered by her "Hang Biden for Treason" t-shirt. But I love that he's asking her the questions. If you're gonna boldly walk around with a call for the murder of your political opponents, I think that you should be willing to back it up. And Michael Shore went to Trump rallies to get answers to those sorts of questions. I don't think that it's a great response. I mean, he was a little bit more aggressive there than he normally is. Normally he doesn't really push, he just tees up. But he said there, you've got the cross. But Jesus didn't really seem like a big murder guy. And she says, what is the penalty for treason? But treason is not it's not a divine thing. It's not a biblical thing. That's a political thing. That was not Jesus's like his bailiwick really. Was you violated the law, so you're gonna get in trouble. So I didn't think that it was a strong response. I am not going to try to read into a person's body language or a couple seconds of their video about whether they are a true believer or whatever. I will simply remind everyone that it is significantly easier to wear a cross than to believe through critical thinking the religious dogma that you say that you do. Brett, what do you think?
How cool if the cross just started steaming and she had to be, get it off, get it off.
That's how it should work.
Two things. One is if you replaced her faith with any other religion besides Christianity, I think the Donald Trump base and a lot of those folks would call that person evil and say that that's not the America. We should throw them out of America. That's not what America is about. In that situation, they should say there should be a separation of church and state. I don't want your Sharia law running America. But if it's their own set of beliefs, that's they get a pass, and they just can't see the hypocrisy in that, or worse, they deny it, which is even more hypocritical. I use this clip in one of my Rebel HQ videos because I wanted to juxtapose it to a clip of Stephen Miller, who said that one of their pitches about our side, so to speak, is that we're weird. We have drag queen story hours. Our people look weird. They're not salt of the earth American. They're psychopaths. The left is a bunch of psychos. And then you point out the people that go to Trump rallies, God bless them, but how do you reconcile that claim? This woman is a weirdo. She's out there with go hang Biden t-shirts that she custom ordered. And she's she's tanned to all hell, man. You gotta give me at least there's a bunch of weirdos. You can't just call us weird. I like weirdos. I think everybody's got something weird about them that I just want to know about. I want to know her thing. I want to know your thing, John. What's the weird thing? We'd be a better nation if we all just knew our weird things. But they're calling us weird. Their side's really, really, really weird.
Yeah, look, and it's not just true of Trump. I think anyone who goes to a rally like this is not normal. And I say that as a person who has gone to multiple of these rallies.
Yeah.
And you too, we think about politics probably too much. It's really important to us. We're following it all the time. That makes us not normal. Now, some people are a couple ticks more towards crazy, and I do think that there's something about Trump that he draws in interesting people, interesting folk. These people are blessed in a variety of ways. Yeah, if you're wearing Hang Biden, or if you're wearing, Trump can grab me by the pee or whatever, you're not the most normal person in the world, and that's okay. That's what our country is. It's just when it crosses over into, I want the guy who has promised to kill people he's told me not to like, that's when it becomes more of a problem for me. And thankfully, I think that is still a relatively small group. But that said, we're talking here about religion, and I want to get into a little bit more of some of the seeming hypocrisies in that area. Let's jump to the next video.
It's not just the left, and it's not just the Democrats. It's the godlessness in this country in general. When they started taking out the 10 Commandments out of our capitals and out of our schools, things just really started falling apart.
Where's the line between separation of church and state and putting the 10 Commandments in a government building?
I don't believe that there should be any separation between church and state. As the Constitution is written, it is for the people, by the people, and God is all part of it. So as far as I'm concerned, the separation of church and state is something that the godless people have brought us to continue saying.
I mean, she's not like 100% wrong. The people who wrote the Constitution did not think of Christianity in the same way that she or modern day evangelicals do. That said, on both the Constitution side as well as on the religious side, I think the idea that these are two different spheres has been relatively well defined, both with the separation that is obviously in the Constitution, and also with the concept of rendering unto God and Caesar the different things, the different provinces of religion and government. That should not be controversial. I would love someone to go beyond just saying, when we got the 10 Commandments out of the schools, that's when things became bad. That is an assertion of a causal mechanism that never actually gets described. Why is it that the kids need to see it in school? They won't learn it anywhere else. I mean, theoretically, you could go to church, you could read about it online. And also the very idea that the vast majority of conservatives don't believe in any of the commandments. They think that it's perfectly fine to kill people under a lot of different circumstances. And the idea that of all of the places to make this claim, you would make it at a Trump rally. Donald Trump, who is a walking, the dude has never seen a thing that he hasn't coveted for himself. He follows these commandments so significantly less than people like Joe Biden. And I'm not saying that you should care about that. I personally don't think that a person's religious belief should have anything whatsoever about their appeal as a candidate. But if there's a thing that you are implying is important to you, the idea that would lead you to support Donald Trump is utterly absurd. I have more. Brett, what do you think?
God is not in the Constitution, lady. He's not. You just said he's all in it. He's not in the Constitution. God is in the Declaration of Independence, but it's not a God. They're endowed by their creator. So any God, every God. And so yes, the idea of a creator. And also, America's not born during this giant religious awakening period. America was born during the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment was not a religious movement. America is the result. The reason you have progressive documents. Maybe she's confusing the 10 amendments to the Constitution with the 10 commandments by Moses on the mountain. But it is explicitly a time focused on science and progressive ideas. And that's why we have the single best. You can fluff yourself up about our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. You can do that. The single most progressive document of freedom to that point in history is our Constitution. So you can have that, but one of the things that makes it that way is it protects people from overreach of religion into our political institutions. You all right there, bud?
Yeah, no, I'm just frustrated. I try again every time we cover these rallies. I try to. I'm not supposed to, and I try not to care about what individual people are saying because I don't know individual people's lives. It is supposed to be an indication of what some sorts of people are believing. It is like doing a poll. It's not about an individual response. It's about trends, and just the trend is people do not expect any consistency in their belief systems. Their belief systems are a house of cards that will fall apart at the lightest breeze. It is maintained by, again, a desperation to believe that you are superior, that you are moral, that you are wise. There's no consistency. There is no desire to avoid hypocrisy. We're gonna move into another topic because this is a broad, I could talk about this for a long time. Quick comment.
It is a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing.
Yes, and as everyone knows, that's Old Testament. So that's the one that they should believe.